Hello and welcome to Artist Magic. I'm your host, Megan Kuhar. I am going to ask you something, and I'm going to use a musician as an example here because that's what I am most familiar with since I'm a musician. But you can sub out musician for whatever your discipline is, okay? Just try to translate this example to your specific discipline as an artist. How much money per year do you delegate to spending on gear? Like guitar pedals or drums or a new bow or new strings or, whatever your instrument needs, new music, new software, new plugins. Think of that number. Now, how much money per year do you delegate on spending on your personal development, like healing trauma, group coaching, online courses, or business assessments? Which number is higher? I hear from a lot of artists and musicians throughout my work, and I would say that the majority of them would rather buy a new piece of gear than pay for business coaching. And today we're going to talk about why. Artists and money are not the best of friends. There is a lot of trauma there, and it makes a lot of sense to me because I see it from a few different lenses. As I said, I'm a musician myself, and I understand how frustrating it is to play gigs for $20, to have friends like scoff at paying $10 instead of $5 for a cover charge, even though they're going to spend like $60 on drinks that night. I know how it feels to put so much work into your music and then nobody wants to pay for it. It is traumatic and it is frustrating and it is incredibly painful. Being told your art is not worth the money over and over again can cause a lot of reactive thoughts. But two of the most primary ones that I see as a coach are I am not worthy and money is scarce. Let's dive into that first one. I am not worthy. We're going to come back to the second one. There is a difference between someone not thinking your art is worth paying for versus them thinking you are worthy, period, but not to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind deals in absolutes. It doesn't understand nuance. Maybe if a person thinks $50 is too much for a small print that you created, it's because they've just never spent that much on art before, and they didn't think it was even a possibility. They may have completely innocent reasoning behind not wanting to spend that money. Maybe they just spent $50 yesterday on takeout food and they're feeling a little sensitive about money right now. There could be so many reasons. But to your subconscious mind, though, it doesn't hear any of those reasons. It simply hears, I made this. I'm charging $50. They don't think it's worth that. I am not worth that. I am not worthy. A very harmful conclusion from something that wasn't very harmful to begin with. A lot of times, too, it goes even deeper than that because the potential customer is actually operating out of a capitalistic belief that artists are poor and they have their own trauma around money. So $50 seems like way too much because why would an artist get to make that much money? And adding on again, their own money trauma that they need to deal with. This is scarcity mindset at its best. Everyone believing money is limited and that there's never enough. And that's the money is scarce thought that I mentioned earlier. Scarcity comes up on both sides, the spender and the receiver of money. I see it when my artist clients are undercharging for their work, which happens all the time. The truth is, money is not scarce. There is plenty of money to go around for everyone. You can make as much money as you think you can make. You have the power to control the amount of money that comes through to you. And you don't have to do it alone. For more amazing content on money and money mindset and making more money, I would highly recommend reading Rachel Rodgers' book, We Should All Be Millionaires. It is fantastic and it covers a lot of the kind of topic around people being able to afford and being accessible, and making sure that you're not like isolating people of lower income by charging a lot, things like that. It is a fantastic read. Highly recommend. And she is Black, and she wrote this book from a Black perspective, which is super important to hear, because I think a lot of people sort of have these assumptions and racist beliefs about money too. So it's very important. So that book is awesome. Totally read it. I had the audiobook, and the audiobook's great too. So how come an artist would rather spend $1,000 on art supplies than $1,000 on a coach to help them grow their business? I believe one reason for this is scarcity mindset. If they spent $1,000 on art supplies, they know exactly where that money is going. It seems more tangible, more practical, that this is in support of their career, that it's easier to explain when their mom asked them how much money they were spending, if they did. It just seems more like doable from that perspective. I also see that many artists would rather do everything themselves, because if they don't, then they would believe that their success is not theirs. So by hiring a coach, it's like giving up some control over your own career. It's like giving away the credit for all the work that you're doing, or like admitting that you can't do it alone. So those two reasons, they just kind of like make me scratch my head, because like when you think about it, not everything that you spend money on is tangible. You're spending money on things every day that you don't ever see. Comfort, security, happiness, experiences, right? You're always going to be spending money on things that aren't easy to explain. And why do we always assume that we have to do everything alone? Right? Because having someone who has a different area of knowledge than us, having them help us find our success, is an incredible gift. It's a gift for you, and it's a gift for them, because they are able to use their gifts and their knowledge to help somebody that doesn't have the same knowledge as them. And if you get the right coach, they won't ever give you unsolicited advice. They will only teach you how you can find your own answers and point out when you're in repeated cycles of negative patterns, things that are stopping you from success. And so that investment in a coach is more like an investment in yourself. And you are always worthy. You are always worthy to invest in. Let me ask you something now. If you invested $1,000 in gear or supplies, would you know for certain that that $1,000 would get you results? What if you spilled all the paint the next day on the floor? What if you like completely spilled all of your art supplies everywhere and it became unusable? Or what if you made a song that didn't get any streams? Or you didn't ever learn how to play that bass guitar that's, that you bought that you thought was going to help you, and it's just gathering dust in your basement. The reality is you can never guarantee results. You can never guarantee results. But you can decide what something will mean to you. So if having a coach means that you have someone to help guide you through some of the most difficult parts of entrepreneurship, wouldn't that be worth it alone? I just wanted to spend today's episode talking about this because I do believe that having a coach changed my trajectory and that it can change yours too, if you let it. So let me know your thoughts on Instagram. Come find me. My username is Megan Kuhar. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. And that's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening.